Right, welcome back everybody to the Ox and the Rat. I'm your host, the Ox.
And I'm the rat.
You are. You sound like one today. Are you tired or sick or something?
I was just putting on a rat voice, but I am tired.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, back to work again, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Is it? Yeah. You had a break in your part of the world for a while.
Week and a half off, and so far a week and a half back on.
Isn't that an extremely short one? A week and a half off.
Yeah, it's pretty short. They take most of the time for Christmas break.
Okay. Huh. Oh yeah, it's one of those situations where like you get in your contract X number of days, and we will decide where they go. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
they were thinking about maybe taking more off the in-year kind of, and then putting them on at the end, but I don't think that was a good idea.
What do you think's better, more breaks or one or two longer breaks from work?
I think I like to break it up during the year.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was a teacher, my first year teaching professionally in England. This has nothing to do with you, of course. But they broke it down by, I forget, like semester or whatever the weird term they use. And yeah, you'd get a week, and then you get Christmas break, and then you get so the year was punctuated like that. It was split in half, right? We had a shorter we had a shorter summer holiday, but kind of like that because I always feel weird like 2 whole months off of work and then going back. I don't know. I've changed a lot over time. I find it's really difficult to get back in a groove, and that's what I need. I want to break and I want to get back at it. I want to break and then I want to get back at it. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not doing a job for a long period of time. And now it's like, oh, now I got to catch up on everything.
Yeah, it is hard to get back in the rhythm of things if you take a long break.
You think it depends on the kind of person you are?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
This is unrelated, but I just saw on the news today that Japanese self-made billionaires looking for 7 passengers on his trip to the moon with the Tesla SpaceX Falcon jet rocket, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And he's going to pay.
He's going to pay the people to go with him.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Wow. Yeah, we're on the cusp of some really great things. I saw the whole interview, a whole more recent interview, because there's been a few with Elon Musk on Joe Rogan. That was awesome. I love that guy. Need people like him, man.
Yeah. There's not many. I guess Amazon dude is going to go focus on space, but he doesn't seem to be as I don't know what the word is. It's not really like a Musk.
Yeah, he's not as driven towards it. And that's what I like about Musk is like he's made his money through creating real solutions, I love that. It's not just like a hedge fund investor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, would you go on the trip?
Would I go?
Yeah.
At this point in my life, no. At a later point, yes. Like if I were older, so the answer is yes, depending.
Well, you'd have to wrangle up about 20 million or something if it's going to be later. This time it's going to be free.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I assume there's going to be some other dudes doing the same thing. Maybe not. Yeah. So no,
Not as generous.
I wouldn't go. No, actually, I would for sure. It's not gonna it's gonna be bad for my career or anything. I mean, unless I die, but yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it.
Can I get 2 weeks off to go to the moon?
Yeah, who's saying no to that, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be the company that refused that.
Good publicity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll wear like branded stuff if you need me to. On my employer, that's fine. Right. So let's get started, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is an interesting juxtaposition in color to begin with. It's called a raven and a swan. Right? Black, white. All right. So a raven, which you know is black as coal, was envious of the swan because her feathers were as white as the purest snow. The foolish bird got the idea that if he lived like the swan, swimming and diving all day long and eating the weeds and plants that grow in the water, his feathers would turn white like the swan's. So he left his home in the woods and fields and flew down to live on the lakes and in the marshes. But though he washed and washed all day long, almost drowning himself at it, his feathers remained as black as ever. And as the water weeds he ate did not agree with him, he got thinner and thinner. And at last, he died. Bam. Mic drop. So, as always, I invite you to break this down and to come to a conclusion as to its moral.
I didn't think he would die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a common phrase. Is this one a common phrase one?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Um, appreciate what you have, or don't try to be what you're not. Be what you are.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think you nailed it for the most part. It's a change of habits will not alter nature. So changing your habits won't change who you are. So yeah, I'll give it to you. Clap, clap. You got it. For sure, Rat. A change of habits will not alter nature. Well, I give the floor over to you, having identified the moral here. Go ahead.
I don't know how long it takes for food to alter your. I mean, if we go into the sun, we're gonna get darker.
Yeah.
So that's gonna happen pretty quickly. Food altering. I mean, that's why flamingos are pink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so changing nature. I think a good one could be, well, especially right now, maybe. So I'm always eating what I should not be eating. I always kind of yo-yo back and forth on like losing weight, gaining weight due to diet. And I always go up to roughly like my highest point. And then I usually never go over that really, but that is because of nature.
Mm.
And I think during puberty, high school, whatever, if you reach a certain weight in high school, that's basically your max fat cells, where you kind of max out. So you like plateau there, but because of the sugary crap diet that most people eat, they end up going past that amount. But usually that's the case, that you'll kind of just stop it. That's why a lot of people have like that specific weight that they kind of stop at, walking around weight.
Yeah. I think
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no matter what I do, I always end up back there. And so if I try to change a little bit, it doesn't help. I get back there. So I don't know. You can change your nature by being disciplined and exercising.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that this is wrong.
Think?
Like, if you change your habits, you can change your nature. Your habit being food, something like that.
Yeah, in both ways, because in the one case where if you eat all that sugary crap, then you're gonna gain more fat cells. So that changed your original nature. And then the other way, if you are working out more, eating better, then it's gonna change it in the opposite way. I guess you'll still have that like maximum fat cell count. Those don't go away, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not an authority here, but I do know a bit about it. You're talking sort of about the set point theory or whatever. I believe it's a theory at this point, so it's not confirmed, but I've certainly experienced it like you're talking about. I can't seem to, man, we just had like, I had a big like celebratory weekend, right? And I took a lot of time off of my regular workouts and was eating tons of food and stuff. And I weighed myself on Sunday night after eating another plate of nachos, which is not with my normal diet. And I weighed the exact same. Like I weighed 170 pounds. I always seem to fluctuate between 180 and 170. I can lose weight super easy now, but I remember when I didn't, it's because I have this general set of habits, right? Like I wake up and I've been doing that since this whole routine since, the whole cancer scare a couple of years ago. This is like 3 years going now, which is crazy. When I just saying that out loud, that I've been doing the same kind of thing for about 3 years. So like I wake up around 5:30, 6, something like that. It's a little bit more complicated now because I gotta let the freaking dog out. But always involves getting up, doing some learning, or at the very least listening to podcasts or something, or learning a new skill and working out. And I'll work out pretty intensely for like close to an hour, something like that. And I just won't eat. So I'll fast at least, the bare minimum for me is 12 hours, but it's usually more like 18 to 20 hours. And like, nothing changes. I look good. I generally feel good. And then I'm just always the same set point weight. It never changes. It's really strange. I've done all kinds of things with like, body scans and stuff, not like advanced stuff. I want to do a DEXA scan, but I haven't. But like handheld and like we have a Garmin one that does your body fat percentage and all that. It's like always the same, under or around 10% body fat, always the same weight. Yeah. So I totally disagree with this. Changing my habits fundamentally changed my nature, right? And I like how you brought up the sun thing and what you eat. Like, beta carotene is a common pigment like in carrots, right? Vitamin A. It's not actually vitamin A that we use. FYI, vegans and vegetarians. It's not retinol. It's precursor. But we know for a fact that if people eat too much, those stupid carrot smoothies and stuff, they'll go orange, right? So your food literally can change your nature, right? And habits can absolutely do the same. So I totally agree with you. And in agreeing with you, I'm disagreeing with this. Yeah.
That's in recent memory, that is the first one that we've kind of
fully
easily argued against and fully argued against.
Yeah. It's such a downer moral, right? Like, you're always gonna be who you are. Fuck you. That's kind of like
I guess. Yeah, maybe for the time. So the point of this podcast is, do these morals stand the test of time?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was more that way, like thinking wise back. When did we say this was? 1600s or something?
Oh, way back. If it was Aesop, then it's like BC, before Christ. 900s? Like 500 BC. That's like 2,500 years ago.
Yeah, a little bit further than 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that in that sense, maybe that was more the thinking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, having studied a little bit in my classics classes, that would make sense. I mean, the Greeks were pretty open-minded about some things, but I think a lot of it there was a lot of caste kind of thinking that, like, warrior kings and stuff. You're born into, if your father was a certain thing, you're going to be a certain thing, that kind of thing. You can't change who you are. So maybe it's kind of one of those politically supporting myths where it's like, keep them down where you belong, right? That might be its genesis, might be where it's coming from, but yeah, couldn't disagree more with it now.
Which is weird because a lot of the other ones are mainly like finding more positive things.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
life.
That's true. I think also it's probably the society. It's also like economy at the time, right? Like everybody, there's probably a reason for these things. Like nothing happens in a vacuum. Like if somebody wrote this and they really believed it, that it probably confirmed what, people need to stay in their lane. We can't have people moving about the economic ladder. We need laborers here. We need warriors here. Don't even try and change that because our society is structured that way.
Yeah, it could have been like a more helpful thing. You got to do your part, be who you are.
Yeah.
Or you're going to die.
I think that's an interesting, like a lot of the reasons Jordan Peterson, for example, has gotten into so much trouble is that he believes in hierarchy. He's not his emotional nature doesn't help him a lot, but I think he's got some really interesting points. Like I believe in him in what he says, to the extent that I think we are hierarchical by nature. It's no question there for me. People, we can't all be leaders, for example, all of the time, right? Sometimes you need to follow, sometimes you need to lead. So whether that's a malleable hierarchy, whether or not you occupy different stages within a hierarchy at certain times, it's clear that our biology is designed to have different roles. For example, let's say, well, that's a tricky one. Not for women, but I mean, we're not designed the same way, right? That's a clear fact. And wherever you go, even egalitarian societies, there's different roles within societies for men and women and for children, right? So I think that today we've managed to overcome that, which is super positive, right? So now we can say, well, of course you can change your nature. Well, not moving away from the habits thing, but yeah, of course you can change your nature. That's good. But it's only because we can now, and maybe we couldn't before, right?
It's accepted that you can.
And possible is the more important part I'm trying to emphasize. That like we're at a point where we have the technology or whatever. We have the machines doing things that free people up to have different roles in society, right? Yeah.
And there probably wasn't a whole lot more options back in the day. It's like, okay, you're not going to be a farmer anymore. What's the plan here?
Yeah.
What's another job you can do?
Yeah, I mean, men have always hunted. Women have gathered. Neither of those was better or worse than the other, right? They're not. They're complementary. Yeah. I think that's where things get really squirrely, where people are like, "Look, you're trying to put women down." It's like, no, I'm saying that they're equal, different but equal, right? That's a hard one for people to swallow these days, which is why we can't talk about shit.
If you didn't have meat coming in, that's bad. If you didn't have gathered stuff not coming in, that's bad.
Yeah, either is bad. There's a clear hierarchy in terms of the value of one over the other, but both are necessary in order for society to function. But now we don't need to do that, right? There's no need for a man to hunt. There's no need for women to gather, because we could both do the same thing by driving down the road to Costco, right? So that's really positive. And so I'm just saying that we don't need to disregard our biology or the reason behind these myths, right? Their contextual nature in order to, say that I disagree now. However, we don't judge the past by the present, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's not that anybody is listening to give us hate, but I'm sure there's. I think there were societies too, where the roles were different. I know, well, like less successful hunters definitely probably gathered. I don't know. There's probably cases where women hunted. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
there is, or at
it
least,
varies depending on culture.
yeah, yeah, there is, and depending on what you are hunting as well. Yeah, 100%. And of course, the hunting couldn't take place unless people were involved in all of the stuff that's required to make hunting possible, right? The creation of nets, the owning of spear tips and stuff like that, crafting. It's all the same. It's all complementary part of the same thing, even though we may be different biologically. And again, we've overcome that to an extent. And I think you're seeing all the problems with it, right? There's a whole like upheaval of like we're trying to reset things, and that's good, but you know, it it doesn't mean that it's not going to be easy. Things are
I think
changing.
also, yeah, the hunter being more important is kind of like early celebrity.
Yeah.
We've always had a fascination with that, I suppose.
What do you mean?
As in, like, somebody that can do something well is regarded higher than others. They're more beneficial, but now we've kind of transferred that to a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, movies, I mean, I guess you're a good actor at times, or it's just how good you look.
Hmm.
It's not always, I guess, on how good you are, but popularity.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of popularity contests to be won now. Jeez. And I just hate
Just
it
be
all.
good at dancing.
Yeah. Wish I was better at dancing. How would you rate your dancing out of five? 5 stars.
5 being actually good.
Yeah.
3 being not
Uh,
bad.
well, I don't want to create
Average.
a rating scale here. I've got to do that for my survey course. But one being completely useless, and 5 being like excellent. Those are your two ends.
Okay. I'd say 3. I think I have rhythm.
Cool. Rhythm. All right. Yeah, yeah.
Rhythm is a dancer.
Rhythm is a dancer. Yeah, rhythm is a dancer. That's all. That's true. All right. Well, I guess we would like totally disagreed with this myth then. Is that right? Slam dunk.
That's correct.
Slam dunk. All right. Well, yeah. I guess we can call this one early then. Uh, yeah. You got
Yeah.
anything else to
Yeah,
add?
no. Let you
No.
get back to work or start work.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get back
I,
to a little bit more long form very soon. Lots of things happening, lots of good things, but it also means lots of work.
and hopefully, well, I'm hoping anyway. I think it might translate this way. Tell me if I'm wrong. That if the time goes forward, you'll be back on the same time as me. So, like what time do you start this podcast?
7:30 ideally, right? In the morning.
7:30. So my 7:30 will be your 7:30.
Oh, so yeah, we're off. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that. So you're 8:30 when my 7:30 is your 8:30?
Yeah. So
Ah,
it's not too late, but
yeah.
it's just
I didn't think
a little
about
bit
that.
tired.
Yeah, no kidding. All right then. Well, my friend, this is a slam dunk. You can change your habits to alter your nature. Don't let anybody tell you differently. It doesn't mean I'm not going to have the same name, the same parents, or, Well, I guess I could change the color of my hair. Maybe. Anyways, yeah, totally disagree. Change your habits, change your nature.
Do that. The only thing that maybe this is going for is like, it was about black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's some sort of reference to race or something like that.
Oh, probably not. Just probably like a right and wrong, good, bad. Like if you have a bad nature versus, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, disagree, thumbs down, and hope you enjoyed that one. Give us a thumbs up for that one.
Yeah.
If you want.
Or a thumbs down. Either's good. We'll be your crow or your swan, whatever you choose. All right. Till next time, friends.
Auf Wiedersehen.